as well as
you can do ball with maybe Neesmith, Robert, and a couple of firsts, and make the salary matching. If you wanted to really unload everything that you have, if you threw every asset you have at it, maybe you wrestle a piece like that away, but you're giving away a bit,
Yeah, but Robert would have had to have been completely healthy now. Impressive showing. It would have been March times 2.
That being said, this is a small nagging injury, not one of the ones that were red flag injuries coming out.
No, there's got so many of those, John. That's the thing. It's like every other month there's a different nagging injury that he's dealing with.
Especially for big guys like his stature. That's not good. It doesn't bode well for how his story typically pan out.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
I think he's going to be back for the playing game. I think he'll be good to go for it, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, even if he's back, how long is that going to last? I mean, is he going to be back for a game? Is he going to be back for a quarter, a half, the rest of the tournament?
How long does that usually persist, John?
The turf toe is supposed to be, they just say anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. It's mainly a rest injury. He's not going to be within that range of it being you shoot it up and you play through some pain tolerance, and then it is what it is. I mean, he tried to give it a go and was a mess, after a few. It was very clear he just didn't have that spring. It's sprained ligaments in and around your toe. It's just painful. And it's usually, it's an NFL. You see it in the NFL. Right. Usually those guys are out a few weeks, but it lingers. Sometimes it kind of stays with people. So I don't know that by the time this season is over, which could be as soon as a week, even if it's into round 1 of the playoffs, I don't know there's enough time for him to be 1,000% off of this. He was on the court a few days ago, so he hasn't even really begun resting.
All he really has to do is rotate defensively and make some passes offensively. And you're not going to get the full effect of him, but it should help to some degree.
But with Robert, I don't know if he can just mentally confine himself to do just those things. Because remember, he's a guy that plays above the rim. He's a guy that
that's how he impacts his
athleticism. And that turf toe is a bigger deal for him than, let's say, someone like Luke Cornett or someone like, who doesn't necessarily play off their athleticism.
Hugely. We'll just let everybody know we're not going to go all night tonight. It's a back-to-back, and it's just this game, man. We're all gonna, but we are going to do the locker room thing. We'll probably head over there in about 15 minutes or so, and chat it up with you guys a little bit. So make sure you download it. Make sure you join us. We want to hear from you guys. As always. It's a lot of the same story, but there's definitely a lot to discuss. How are we feeling? Feel confident they can even sneak into the actual playoffs at this point? Do you want them to?
It's not that hard. They have to win one game.
My biggest question is, do you even want to see it? Do you want to see them?
I do.
You want to see it because you want to see them humbled. I'm saying, right?
I want to see it because I want to see how they can handle when they're all that talk about your backs against the wall. That in the playoffs, that's legit. You have nowhere to turn. Whoever you are, whatever you are supposed to be in the biggest, greatest moment of the season, you are going to get exposed. We are going to see the varnish, the veneer is all off. You are 2 a.m, beauty. How are you looking at 2 a.m? When the deed has been done?
No, but
that's
I do.
What we're going to see.
I kind of want to see.
That's why I want to see it.
I want to see 4 40-point losses to the Nets.
Oh, shit.
I really do.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that because I don't think this team is that bad. I don't think they're that bad.
No, but I want to see it because I want the offseason to be a real gut check. Don't. Oh, we did our best, spirited effort, moral victory columns. No, I want absolute abject humiliation. Okay, and that's why I want them to get into the playoffs wiped out.
Yeah, the moment Tatum gets hurt, you'll be like, see, why did they even compete? They should have bowed out when they had the chance. No, I want to see them play.
I want humility forced upon them.
I don't want all that, but I want them to be on the grand stage.
I like the Brooklyn series too.
I want to see what they're made of. I want to see it unfold and then see what they say after the game. After all that talk that they've been saying all year long. About back against the wall and all that. But then with the Jaylen Brown injury, it sort of gives them But then again, you want to see them have that nothing to lose attitude. But It's not happening. And if
You
it's
wanna
not
see
happening
that-
now, it's not going to just happen. As soon as they start the playoffs.
You want to see that Nets one too because of what we talked about with them being able to go small and get rid of their centers. It being a matchup that I really wanted them to compete in all year, but they were just unable to. So from that perspective too, you want to actually see them be able to play up to a team like that and give them some trouble. And like you said, John, it's just going to be so staggering that if they aren't locked in, they're going to get annihilated in an embarrassing way. So that's the ideal one for me. You want to see them go up against that team right away and have that kind of challenge thrown at them.
Yeah. And I want to see them get destroyed.
440-point damn, John.
440-point losses.
Imagine.
Anything.
440s. 440s.
No, because that's payback. That's our payback for having to endure this all year. Okay. We've suffered. Now it's time for them to suffer.
Now, is it better if they get that 12th to 13th pick? That becomes the question about the play-in tournament.
Of course it is. I mean, ultimately, yes. But I want to keep doing this sort of, I'm a friggin' masochist at this point. I want to keep doing these shows. I want them to be relevant and in the conversation. So I do want a round of playoffs here. But I do ultimately, I want to see them up against a massive challenge, and I want to see them.
Well, they're a playoff team, and that's what
I want to see. I want to see whatever happens. That's what I want to see. If they put up a great fight, that's a good thing. You feel a little bit better about something. If they get annihilated, great, because they deserved it. And I want them to head into the offseason with their tail between their legs, thinking about what a total failure this season was, and try to learn and come back next year and be like, we can't be that ever again. Can't be soft like this. We got, it's got to be a real gut check sort of summer for them.
Yeah, and you deserve a playoff spot, 4 games if you're the 7th seed. Even with everything they've done terrible over the last couple of weeks, they still have a 2-game leg up with the tiebreaker on Charlotte. And the league has put a system in place to give a team like the 7th seed, Celtics here, a leg up on getting in. You get 2 chances. They're both on your home floor. You don't have to go anywhere. The other team that's coming in for your second try is off of a game traveling after already traveling possibly. So all the stuff is in place for you to win that game or win the second game at the very
Bobby,
least and get in.
The problem, Bobby, is that because everything is pretty much set up for you to have an edge, this team doesn't play well when they have this false sense of we've got an edge. This team is going to have problems if they're playing Charlotte. There is that team, if I'm the Celtics, would scare the crap out of me, not because of how talented they are, but because they look at you the way all other teams in the league do at this point, and that is they're soft. We play moderately hard. We will beat them. And the Celtics, their response when teams have come at them like that is, yup.
Yeah.
Yep. They don't fight back, Bobby. And Charlotte is coming in here to fight. I guarantee you they will not. They will not get blown up by the Celtics.
I'm not expecting a blowout win. You look at some
of the. If it becomes
a
fight, Bobby, who's going to win if it becomes a fight?
Well, that's the thing. Look at some of their wins this year. Some of their better wins, like the Spurs game, the Warriors game, even their most recent win against the Hornets, and even that awesome game that Tatum led late against the Wizards a couple months ago. They've played some inspiring games against that middle of the league class there. And I still think they'll have the talent advantage in that game. I think they'll finally scramble together the will at that point and have the bodies in place.
Well, why, Bobby? Bobby, that last point you made about scrambling together the will, what makes you think that's going to happen? Because I agree with you on the talent side. I think they are more talented than all these teams we're talking about. But that will to win, Bobby, what makes you think this team is going to have that going for it when we get to the playing game?
Because you have to, or you're going home. That's all there is to it in that game.
I think they might like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Right. Like, let's get out of here. I'm done with this.
You think so? You think that's where the team's at?
Seriously, though, Bobby, I hope that you're right. I really hope that you're right because I think this team inside they should have that desire and will to win. We've seen many of these core guys show that and display that, but this season, for whatever reason or reasons, it's just not there. And I'm not confident that it's going to all of a sudden manifest itself in a playing game.
Yeah. You know who I feel good about delivering it, though, is Kemba. The way he's playing right now.
Great. Fine.
how much he wants to be in the playoffs individually.
But didn't him and Fournier and Tatum combine for like 80 points the other night, and they still lost?
Yeah, they did.
True, but they'll be playing more minutes collectively.
I'm not worried about Kemba bringing it. I'm worried about them finding a way to win. Forget Kemba could go 1 for 72. If they win by 3, good game. And he hits the one shot that wins it, great game. That's not how this team functions. That will to win, Bobby, that you're talking about, I'm spot on with you. That is huge. And that's what this team has not shown they have.
And I'm honestly not
exist.
like, look, I said, when you're out there, you're going to play. You're not out there thinking like, I'm not going to try today because I want to lose. But it's like, how bad are you actually going to scratch, claw, fight to win? Or are you going to accept your fate and accept the outcome? Where you start to look at it and say, is losing the worst thing? You know, like if you don't, but that's really it. If you don't have the mentality that losing is the worst
thing. Like that last game in the AAU tournament, like, you know what?
Dude, I'll say this
for Mai Tais and Maui.
Yeah. I'll make my
You'd
own
be surprised how much your confidence or your fight to just
I'm not gonna lie. I'll make my own professional admission on this. Like every year, year in, year out, you know, doing what I've done for a living. When the Patriots are basically in the AFC Championship game every single year, and when they're there and they're playing, you're thinking like, oh, they're gonna win, and I'm gonna get to cover another Super Bowl. It's gonna be fun. But there's also part of you like, man, that's friggin' long, and it sucks, and it's all day and night. And then those games that they lose, you're like, that's not so bad. I kind of got my life back, you know, like you can reconcile it, you know, like, but like, you're like, I actually don't mind the fact that like, I'm going to be able to take it easy a little bit now, you know, like,
because like when I was in Detroit and they were going to the conference final every damn year, you know, they've got a game 7 at Miami to go to the NBA finals. And this was in 2005. And I'm thinking they're not going to beat, you know, D Wade and
I really want to go through this. Yeah.
So my summer is about to start like in 4 hours. Damn it, they went on and won the game. Then you got to go to San Antonio, and needless to say, had no intentions of doing that. So you're making all these last minute appearances. And to John's point, the life that you thought you were going to have.
Cedric Maxwell here. I want to take a minute to tell you about Marigold Medical. I'm used to keeping my body in great shape, but with arthritis, even the most simple everyday tasks became unbearable. As soon as I called Marigold Medical, I knew I was in good hands. No drugs, no surgery, just an experienced team of caring professionals that wanted to get me back to doing the things I love. Make the call to Marigold Medical and get back to pain-free life.